Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Shea. If you are new to my channel, if you're a returning visitor, thanks for stopping by again. What's poppin'? Glad to have you back. This video is going to be more geared toward, I guess, my law followers. If anybody's interested in going to law school, if anybody's in law school, if anybody, I don't know, you're knowing somebody that wants to go to law school, you can forward this video to them. I don't know. We're here to discuss being a lawyer, being an African-American first-generation lawyer at that, being somebody who really didn't have any plugs, didn't have any anybody that I just really knew that was in the law field. There's a lot of different factors that comes into play when it comes to education. My family kind of really instilled that in me from like day one. My grandfather, before he passed, he was like, you know, you're going to school, you're gonna finish school in 4 years. Like, he really kind of beat that into me. And so when it was my time to actually go to when it was my time to actually go to, you know, college, I knew that I had to do certain things. I had to get it done in a certain amount of time. Like, it was really like not a game for me. I just had to continue his legacy because he passed when I was going into high school. So there was no one there for me to just be like, okay, once I graduate, can I come work in your firm? Do we have a family law firm? No, there was nobody like that for me. I didn't have anybody like in the Houston area to be like, okay, well, can you point me in the right direction of people, you know, who are in the field that can serve as my mentor? I literally had to kind of pick up everything and start from scratch. These are just some of the things that I wish that I had known prior to attending law school, something that I feel as a first-generation law student that is important to know. But if you don't have the resources available, of course, you will not have access to finding out certain information, and you're really kind of just gonna have to get it out the mud and figure it out for yourself. But hopefully these tips will help other people to, I guess, not even necessarily saying that I made mistakes, but to help people to have better opportunities and better experiences throughout their process and not have to go through some of the hurdles that I feel like I've had to go through as a person coming into this field. So the first thing is, I'm really a very standoffish person, like in real life. I keep to myself. I'm relatively quiet unless I really know you and I'm comfortable around you. Like, once I'm comfortable, then I get to be the goofy, silly person that, you know, I really am deep down inside. You know, even sometimes my personality on this camera is not a true reflection of who I am. Like, just if you're coming up to meet me, like, I'm socially awkward a little bit. So, and I can admit to that, and it's okay. To me, it's okay. But networking is something that's really important in this field. It's kind of more important for you to get comfortable with it earlier on, so at the end you're not having to kind of, I don't want to say fight to gain those opportunities, but it's a little harder once you haven't built those relationships, because then towards the end you're like, okay, well, now I have to try to, you know, figure out how to get to that relationship. I need to figure out a better way in, because this person that's in competition with me for this position, if that's the case, this person has more experience. This person is closer, has, you know, people on the inside. They have people that can tell them and guide them in the way that you won't have because you haven't been doing the networking. And so as somebody that's socially awkward like me, you need to kind of make sure you have yourself paired up with maybe somebody that's not socially awkward. So if you're going to events and you know that networking is not your strong suit, you don't need to be going to an event with somebody that's literally just like you. Maybe try to have somebody there that, you know, you can kind of bounce ideas off of. They can start the conversation. That'll make it to where it's easier for you, because firstly, you're not having to really be socially awkward, not know what to say, not be prepared. You can work with that person who has more confidence. Not saying that you don't have confidence, but you can kind of work with that person who's, you know, quicker on their feet, quicker with, you know, being friendly, if that makes sense, and making that connection, making that network, you know, make that work for you. When you do that, it makes the opportunity better for you. It makes it less awkward. It makes you less uncomfortable. And of course, it makes the other person seem, you know, it's easier for the conversation to flow. Network. Get you a mentor, get somebody that can kind of go with you to these networking events, you know, kind of build your roster, build your team, so that by the time you're actually ready to get into things, it's already set in place. Okay, so the second thing that I want to say is, know from the beginning, when you first step in the door, not even when you first step in the door, when you first submit your application and then you get your acceptance letter, know that every student that you interact with from that point on is finessing. They are finessing. Nobody has it just all together. To get into law school, you have to have some type of intelligence. Like, you have to be a certain level of smart. Everybody's smart. It's just some people have better access to supplements. So it's like, if you're getting caught on in class, they might have a supplement that has the cases already briefed and they're writing down those briefs. So it's like, all right, well, they're sounding super smart, or they're bringing those briefs to class. So it sounds like they're more prepared than you are, but it's just they figured out the way to finesse. They probably spoke to upperclassmen who was able to hand them down outlines, who was able to give them things that you probably don't have the access to. And again, that goes back to the whole networking thing. Once you kind of get to knowing people, and that doesn't just mean talk to judges, talk to people that can get you job opportunities. That means also try to talk to some of the upperclassmen, talk to the professors if you can, if you're comfortable doing that. I was not comfortable doing that, and so it did hinder me a little bit. But as I started to get further into my career, my academic career, I had an associate this person was really good at the whole networking thing. This person was able to get supplements from people, get resources, so that I allowed that person to do what that person needed to do. And then once that person trickled down that information to me, I used it to my advantage, and I did what I had to do with it. So know that everybody is finessing. Everybody, they're not just really, really smart. No. I mean, they're smart, but it's like, you can be that smart too. It's just making the most of the resources that are available. A lot of these big cases have already been briefed. You know, even though I don't want to recommend you to just rely on the case briefs that are already out there, but just know that they are out there. So if it's like you come for your first day, they're like, you get cold called and you don't know the answer. I mean, you should know the answer, but at the same time, if somebody from the back yells, da, 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 it's not just that they're that smart. They know. They were prepared. They got told beforehand what to know, how to figure it out, and that's what the difference is. So they're finessing for sure. The third thing I want to tell you is that it is okay to not know what you want to practice as soon as you go in, or even when you come out. I mean, the thing about law school, I don't know if this is like this at every school, but in a lot of instances, you know, you learn the case law, you learn the law for the bar, you learn the law to take this test, and then you take the test, and then from there you're able to kind of hone in on your focus point. But once you're learning for the bar, you're learning everything that there is to cover for the bar exam. So let's say there is a clinic you want to take. Sure, that'll give you more practical use, but that's not giving you the information that you need for the bar. So it's okay for you to come into law school and know that you have a general interest in being a lawyer, but it's also okay for you to not know if you want to practice criminal litigation, if you want to be a prosecutor or a defense attorney, if you want to do contracting, if you want to go into oil and gas, you know, if you want to do entertainment and sports law. Like, there's so many different categories. There's juvenile law, there is environmental law, you know, there is just a civil litigation dealing with torts. There is so much that you can cover that I didn't even say. So getting the experience and learning, if you have opportunities to like sit, or not even sit in those classes, but if they have those classes offered. So if you're interested in juvenile law, take a juvenile law class if you can, if you have, you know, the time for it in your schedule. Figure out what you want to do, but don't feel rushed. Don't feel like everybody just knows everything, because they don't. Again, they're finessing. They seen stuff on TV. Maybe they want to be like, you know, off of Law and Order SVU. They want to be like Annalise Keating. You know, they see things and they get influenced, and they know what they want to do based off that, and that's fine. But it's also okay if you're not one of those people and you want to get your feet wet and see what there is to offer out there. Take advantage of every opportunity. There are a lot of instances when people come out of law school and they're like, I'm going to be a criminal defense attorney, or I'm going to go work for the DA. Like, they know this is what they're gonna do, and then they get tired of it and they go do something different. People switch up fields in law all the time, so it's fine. Also, know that law school is nothing like these television shows that we see. You know, I started law school, I think maybe either a semester or a full year after How to Get Away with Murder came on. So I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna take a How to Get Away with Murder Criminal Law 101 class, and I'm gonna, you know, be doing all this stuff. I'm gonna help, no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna help nobody kill nobody, not do that. But I'm gonna help somebody, you know, get away with all this stuff, and we're gonna figure out how to do that. Law school was not like that. It was not. It's you learning the law, you learning how to apply the law. If you wanna take a clinic, cool. You're probably not going to have a professor that's like that. Also, What I wish somebody had told me prior to, and I feel like my mentor probably did tell me this. If you watching, I'm sorry, but try to get practical use. So as I've mentioned, the clinics are important. They are good. It gives you that practical, you know, that hands-on experience. So when you're coming out, you're not just kind of completely, I don't know what to do. But you can also get that practical use through internships. So try to find, if you do know what type of law you're interested in, try to find a internship that's in that field. So by the time, you know, you actually graduate and you pass the bar and you're ready to start, if you're looking to start up a, you know, your own firm, you have that hands-on experience doing what you're wanting to do, you know, starting cases, you know, filling out, drafting motions and, you know, things like that. So you'll have that hands-on experience if that's something you're interested in. And the last tip, even if you do a clinic, even if you take every class regarding the topic that you're interested in, if you're interested in criminal law, of course you got to take criminal law and criminal procedure, but if you take like a juvenile class, if you focus on like expunctions, criminal law and immigration, like even if you take all these classes that they may offer, crim trial, crim whatever, you probably still won't come out knowing everything that you need to know in order to run a successful practice, in order to handle whatever the first case is that's thrown at you. You won't come out knowing everything you need to know for practical use. You will have to ask questions. You will have to do continuing law education programs. You will have to still have a mentor. You will, you know, I mean, unless you're just ready to kind of, I don't know, unless you just did your research and you're just amazing and just know everything. And maybe if you were a paralegal, or like if you just are going into like, you know, your family had experience doing it, like if you are that type of person, then maybe. But tying it back to the beginning, people finesse. People are finessing their way through, and they're finding what works for them, and if it works, it sticks, and they're making it do what they do. Yeah, so literally one of the things I'm having to tell myself every day is like, girl, you know these people are finessing. Like, what are you afraid of? What are you so apprehensive about? Why are you just like, I don't want to, yeah, no. Like, I'm having to tell myself and remind myself that, okay, back to what I said before, the finesse game is strong. And some people finesse way better than others. And so again, it's okay because you're not gonna come out to learn exactly what you need to know. Law school is really to see if you can learn all this law and apply it for the test. And once you do that, you should be fine. So just understanding that, again, it's okay. You're not gonna come out knowing everything you need to know, but I mean, it's ways to learn what you need to know. All right, so thanks for watching this video. I really hope it helped. If you are a student that's looking to take the LSAT, if you're taking the NPRE, if you are a person that's just interested in law school, have any questions, let me know down below and I'll see how I can assist you. If you're interested in law school, go ahead and still do your research, figure out if this is really meant for you. It does take a lot of time commitment. It takes a lot of mental strength to make it through all 3 years. It's tough, but it's very doable. So again, if you have any questions, let me know down below. Again, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.